Hey golf people, we are ranking golf brands once again on this channel. This is the original golf rankings, and my opinions have changed since last time we did the rankings. So we're gonna have some fun ranking my favorites to my least favorites and everything in between. And remember, these are my opinions. I will share with you why I think what I think, but your opinions might be different. So let me know down below in the comments what you think of all of this and where I was right, where I was wrong. I'd love to hear. Let's get into the rankings. All right, we're gonna start off here with a heavy hitter in Cobra. Cobra is fast becoming the most innovative brand in golf. They're using 3D technology. They're doing amazing things with the Aerojet line. The club head speed is so fast with that thing. Their Forge Tech line of irons, I think, are right up at the top in terms of a player's forgiving iron. So I'm definitely putting Cobra here in the would buy category, 100% would buy Cobra. Next brand up here is Hanma, and I think it's a polarizing brand. Obviously they're trying to be at the top end of the market, but I think as we've seen here in the United States, the brand is just not gaining traction. I think it's for a reason. I think the clubs are just not as good as the price point they're selling for. So I'm definitely putting Hanma in the meh category. I'm not saying that they make bad clubs. I'm just saying that the price to value ratio to me just isn't something that I would consider. Let's take a look at another Asian brand. This is Srixon, and this is a Japanese iron brand. Last year, I think I put them in the would try category. This year, I am going to move them up into the would buy category. The driver, the ZX5, the ZX7, two great clubs that they came out with. Also the irons, I really like the ZX5s this year, so I'm moving them up into the would buy category. Next brand up here is Wilson Staff. Now, Wilson Staff is a brand making some serious strides the last, I would say, 4-5 years. Wilson Staff this year in particular, the Dynapower line is fantastic. The driver is a great driver. It wasn't one of my top 7 or 8 drivers, but it's a very good driver. The Dynapower irons, though, I think are the best game improvement irons on the market right now. And I would say their line of D9s, especially the D9 Forge, is a great player's iron. The blades they make, everything they're making right now is fantastic. Even the Triad balls I tried, absolutely love them. So Wilson Staff here is moving into would buy. Next up here is PXG. Now PXG is an interesting brand. It was one that was a super expensive elite club, and now all of a sudden it's become more of a budget-friendly club, especially if you're military first responder. They make some fantastic clubs. I love the idea of pushing the envelope, of doing things differently. What Bob Parsons did, giving his engineers like full reign, full creativity to make the best golf club. So for me, they're definitely in the would buy category. Now, of course, we're ranking golf clubs today, but it doesn't matter what golf clubs you're playing if you can't strike the ball well. And that's where today's sponsor comes in. Swing Tweaks is an app to get feedback from real PGA professionals on your golf swing. I've been using it. I absolutely love it. Let me walk you through what it can do. Basically, you've got a section for your profile. You can see my name, my handicap there, and then you can purchase credits. The great thing about this app, Swing Tweaks, is that instead of having to pay for a subscription, you can literally get help when you need it, anytime, day or night. What you do is you go down there to the swing section, you'll tap the plus button, and then you will literally create a swing. You're going to get a front view as well as a behind the ball view, and you're going to upload it with any notes you've got. Swing Tweaks promises you'll get your feedback within 6 hours. Here's the actual feedback that I got. In fact, you can see he gave me a couple paragraphs there of his advice. He also recommended some drills with some videos I can watch on YouTube. And he actually left videos there where he drew lines and explained exactly what he had written in a little bit more detail. I've got a link down below for you to download this app, and you will get a special discount just for being a fan of this show. Highly recommend, whether you're going to use it right now or later, that you download the app, because you never know. Sometimes when I'm playing my best golf, that's when something goes disastrously wrong. And it's always great to have a little help in your back pocket. Could not recommend Swing Tweaks highly enough. Check them out. Now let's get back to the rankings. class. Next up is Yonex, and this is a brand that I'm actually going to move up in the rankings again this year. Finally, they came out with something new. I got to test out their drivers with their nice Yonex shafts. It's one of the few manufacturers that's fully integrated. They make the shaft as well as the club head. For that reason, I definitely would put that in the wood tri category this year. Next up on the list is Odyssey. Now, Odyssey, of course, famous for their putters. It's really what they focus on. It's a sub-brand of Callaway, technically. Odyssey has made some great putters in the past. The 2-ball putter was one of the most winningest putters on all of the major tours for a very long time. Although I think now the innovation has really started to slip. They're just not rolling out anything that's groundbreaking or really eye-catching. They're living in a good price point. It's towards the lower end of a decent quality putter, but they're just not really pushing the envelope. And on top of that, the last Odyssey putter I bought, which is probably now 6-7 years ago, granted, but they had a major issue where the face insert was coming out. It was a major quality control issue. I don't know how they ever let putters like that roll off the line. So for me, Odyssey, again, price point, I'd probably put them in the wood tri category, but in terms of overall how I feel about what they're doing right now, I'm sorry to say I'm putting them in the meh category, and I know a lot of people are probably not going to be happy about that, but it is what it is. Let me know down below in the comments if you disagree. I'm happy to hear your opinion. Next brand up here is going to be Tacomo. Now, this is the first time it's actually hit the list because it's a brand new brand out there from Finland. I will cut right to the chase. They're making some incredibly good clubs for a very affordable price. In fact, it's the irons I'm playing right now. So would I buy them? Yeah, I would absolutely buy Tacomo. Next up on the list is going to be a heavy hitter here, Titleist. And I think on last video, this probably got me the most hate comments from people saying that I miscategorized where Titleist should be. Last year, I put them in the wood buy category. This year, it is changing, and here's why. Always, Titleist has been known for having great line of wedges, a great line of irons, but where I really, to me at least, thought it kind of missed the boat was in the drivers. That has changed this year. I think the TSR series of drivers is the best driver of 2023. That means, especially if you add in Scotty Cameron, which we will be ranking separately here, if you add the entire brand together with the balls and everything else they do, Titleist is definitely worthy of pure class. And I know I made a lot of Titleist fanboys happy there. You're welcome. All right, next brand up is one that is probably going to get me just as much hate. That is Miura. And I am going to rank Miura probably lower than a lot of reviewers would. But the thing is, Miura clubs are super expensive. They are at the top of the top line of expensive. They're also great quality. There's no doubt about that. But here's the thing. All of the other club manufacturers have slowly caught up over the years, some quicker than others. And the discrepancy of what you can get for what you're paying here with Miura, for me, just, it's not in balance. If money was no object, it would definitely be in the wood buy category. For me, it's going to be in the wood tri category. Next up on the list is Dunlop. Now, Dunlop, if you're searching for golf clubs, you're probably at this point looking at used Dunlop clubs. I don't even know if they're making clubs anymore. If they are, they're not very impressive, but you may find this in the bargain bin at your local Play It Again Sports. You also might find it at a yard sale, something like that. For me, I would say just save your money. I'm putting that one in the nah category. Next up on our list here is TaylorMade, guys. Now, TaylorMade is another one of these brands that does the entire line great from front to back. They make great putters. They make iconic putters like the Spider, for instance. They have great set of wedges. They make some fantastic irons in the P790s, P770 lines. They've also got things like the Stealth 2 line of irons for the game improvement category. And the Stealth 2 driver is an exceptional driver. I would say it's top 4 or 5 driver this year. No doubt about it in my mind. For those reasons, TaylorMade is going to be our second brand here in the pure class category. All right, next up on the list is Even Roll. This is another putter-specific company. They are doing some fantastic things with their putters. I know a lot of viewers of my show use Even Roll putters. I've tried them out extensively in the PGA Tour Superstore, my local Edwin Watts and whatnot, And even roll, definitely for me, is a would buy. Next up on our list is another defunct golf brand, Nike Golf. I've actually owned a set of progressive irons. That was groundbreaking back in the day, by the way, to have a combo set of irons that went from a blade to a cavity back. Really groundbreaking stuff. But the fact is they also made the Sasquatch driver, so they're going in the meh category for me. Next brand up on the list is hard to pronounce, honestly. Exexio, I guess. Could be Shishio. People call it all sorts of different things. I think it's Exexio. Correct me if I'm wrong or not. I really don't care because I'm putting it in would try, and that's probably a reach, honestly. Thing is, they make some really beautiful clubs, but again, they're in this category where they're just priced too expensive, I think, for what they are. And at this point, there's just so many good value brands out there, such as Sticks. Sticks is the next brand up on the list. I'm putting that in the would buy category. That's a great brand. If you're a beginner golfer just getting started, I think they make a great package set, so I definitely would recommend buying one of those. Next up on the list, Bettinardi, another niche putter brand. They make some beautiful clubs, and I'm gonna give you a pro tip here on Bettinardi. You can go to Costco on the website right now. They've got a Bettinardi listed, at least at the time of me making this video, so you can find them there from time to time at a discount, and yeah, it's definitely for me a would buy, high quality putter there. Next brand up on the list is Scotty Cameron. We'll stick with putters here. Scotty Cameron, no doubt about it, has really redefined the entire category of putters, and it opened the doors, honestly, for brands like Evenroll and Bettinardi. So for me, Scotty Cameron will always be pure class. Next brand up on the list is Adams Golf. Again, this is another sub-company of one of the bigger manufacturers. If you go back into the catalog, the old days of Adams Golf, they made the Titleist series, and that was a great series. But at this point, again, clubs have really caught up, and this is the point where I'm just gonna put it in the meh category. Next up on the list is Ping. There aren't enough good things that I could say about Ping's line of clubs right now. This is another brand that I am going to move up in my rankings from last year, and for very good reason. The G430 line is right up at the top in terms of the best drivers of the year. I have it ranked second on my list, but there's definitely an argument for it to be number one, I would say, from some people. They make fantastic sets of irons right now. The I-59s I absolutely love. And of course, there are some other options in the catalog. Wedges is the one place where I thought Ping kind of lags behind a little bit, for me at least, but I will say they are a very forgiving wedge. The funny thing about Ping is they were really known to be a putter company, and I think they are being less known as a putter company and more known for their irons and drivers these days. But one way or the other, I think with the launch of the G430 line, I just have to, in 2023, put Ping up here in pure class. Next brand on the list is Tommy Armour. Now, a lot of you, I'm sure, have played Tommy Armours. Of course, the Silver Scotty 845s were the perennial classic clubs. You could find them at a yard sale, again, at a secondhand store. Everyone you knew had a set of those. I'd love to know what the numbers were in terms of sales. Those clubs these days I would probably stay away from, but the new set of 845s that you can buy at Dick's, at Golf Galaxy, is a fantastic, fantastic club that I think at the very least you should try. But because of the price, I'm gonna put that in would buy. Next up on our list is Cleveland Golf. There are a lot of Cleveland fanboys out there. I used to play Cleveland drivers. I don't think their drivers in the last few years have been very good at all. I think the irons are fair at this point, and I think the wedges, again, are good, but are they competing at the top level of wedges, something like a Vokey? I think Cleveland's best days are a little bit behind them. Still, all in all, I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the would try category. I don't even know where I had them ranked last year, but this year, I'm gonna put them in would try. Here's another brand that I would like to try, Haywood Golf, but I have not tried it, so I can't necessarily rank it other than I would put it in the would try category. Probably would put them in the would buy because they look beautiful, and other people have had a lot of success with them, but I can't rank them until I actually try them. Sorry, guys. Next brand on the list is a new one here for 2023. It's Kirkland Signature, and I should have put them in last year, but this year I'm definitely putting them in. I don't know if you know about this, but likely Kirkland Signature is going to be releasing new clubs this year, a version 2.0 of their wedges, which were already very awesome. They've got the KS1 putter, which is fantastic, and now even harder to get than it used to be. I think they're probably going to revamp that one as well, and I believe they're rolling out some new irons. We'll see. Kirkland, absolutely. I mean, I'd love to put it in pure class because what they've got is pure class, but they don't have a full line. So we're gonna put Kirkland in would buy, absolutely would buy. I don't think there's a better value out there, believe it or not. Ugliest logo in golf, but the value is incredible. Next one up here is Tour Edge Exotics. They also get some flack for their logo, but logo and badging aside, these are some fantastic clubs. E723 right up there for me in terms of the best drivers of the year. Again, I'd put it in the top 4. Their irons are also very good. They've got a great line of hybrids and fairway woods as well. Tour Edge Exotics for me unequivocally is a would buy. Next brand up here is R Golf. This is another very niche brand. They've got some French roots. This is a brand that the putters are just absolutely exceptional that they create. The irons are great for the higher end golfer, but their stuff is very, very expensive. So for that reason, I'm gonna put them in would try, because especially their putters, I think you should try. Next brand up is McGregor. McGregor, I just actually went on their website. They've got a set of irons I really would like to check out, but all in all, they have not been innovating over the years. And again, we're probably talking about someone who's gonna be purchasing a secondhand set of clubs here. McGregor's, I'm gonna go ahead and put those in the nah category. At this point, there's just so many other brands that will work better for you. Next brand up here is Ram, and the same thing. They've also got some new clubs. They look very, very strikingly similar to a couple of other sets of clubs like the Tacomos, like the sub 70s. But Ram for me is going to be in the, it's probably going to be in the nah category. Again, if we're looking into the past, their entire catalog of clubs, I just don't think that they are worthy to be anything other than, for me, nah. Next brand on our list is Sax Parente. This, again, is another niche putter brand. There's a lot of these here on this year's list. Absolutely think you should try it, but heck, I've got it in my bag. I think you should absolutely buy it. The cool thing about the Sax Parente putter technology is the pendulum-like balance that you get from these putters. The weight is all down at the head, and it's just a fantastic, fantastic feeling at impact. They're definitely a would buy for me. Ben Hogan Golf is a brand that I'm going to move down in my list this year. Not because their clubs are any less quality. I think they've always made a great set of blades. I think the driver that they came out with a couple years ago was also awesome, but it's a defunct brand. It's a defunct brand, so it was in would try last year, I think. This year, I'm gonna put it in meh. Next brand up on the list is Callaway. And Callaway always has great drivers. They've always got great irons. Their forged irons, great feeling. My friend Wade plays them. I'm personally not a fan of the Jaws wedges. I think they lack a little bit of spin, but regardless, Callaway, very, very solid brand. Absolutely has to be in the would buy category. Next brand up on the list is Sub 70, and I did not put out a video this year, but I did try out some Sub 70 clubs this last year, and yeah, it's a good brand. I think it's probably something that you should try. The reason I don't put them up in the would buy category is I think they're priced just a smidge too high personally for a direct-to-consumer golf club. Okay, and if you talk about Callaway, Ping, TaylorMade, the big boys, they're going to be cheaper than that, obviously. But if you compare it against the other direct-to-consumer brands like a Tacomo, it's just, like I said, a little bit too much. So I'm putting it in would try, guys. Next up here is Mizuno, and we know Mizuno makes exceptional irons. They say nothing feels like a Mizuno. That's a given. But their drivers are also exceptional. Over the last few years, Mizuno drivers have consistently ranked at the top of my rankings. In fact, in 2021, 2022, I ranked it as the best driver of those years. Last year, I got a chance to check out their wedges, and their wedges continue to improve. The putters are absolutely now a must-buy for me. If you take a look at the M-Craft putters that Mizuno put out, I think they're as good as anything on the market. And lastly, they just came out with some balls that I've now switched to the RB Tour balls. Mizuno, for me, all in all, is a pure class brand. There you have it, guys. There's my 2023 rankings. As I said before, these are my personal rankings, and your opinions might differ, and that's the great thing about golf. We can all love what we love, but I would love to know down below what you think. Leave me a comment, guys. Share this video with some friends. Let's get a conversation started, and I'll catch you back here real soon on another edition of Let's Play Through.